name's Kyle Rice, and I am one of the guys that helps run AFC. And today what we are going through is Genesis chapter 22, and we've been going through the life of Abraham, and we come to probably the most famous chapter within his life, and it's about his son Isaac. The Lord has finally made good on his promise to give him a son and an heir, and so Isaac is born, and then God appears to Abraham and tells him to go and to sacrifice Isaac, to make a burnt offering out of him. And so Abraham grabs Isaac and two other young men from his tribe, and he goes towards the mountains, and he leaves the two men behind at the mountain, and he grabs his son and takes him up and ties him up and puts him on the burnt offering. And then as he raises his hand to kill his son, the voice of the Lord, or voice of an angel, comes to him and tells him not to kill his son. And so this is a very well-known story, so I don't want to get into the parts that everybody knows, but I want to take a couple verses and I want to look at two ideas here. And so the first idea comes out of chapter 22, but verse 12, and this is what verse 12 says. He said, "Do not lay your hand on the boy." This is the Lord talking. "Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." So the first idea that I wanted to hit on was fear of the Lord, and the idea of fear, because so often what we do with fear is we place fear in the negative category. But throughout the Bible and throughout the New Testament especially, what we see is when a man or a woman of God who deeply loves the Lord, and nobody else knows him, he is often, or she is often, referred to as a God-fearing man or woman. And so that idea of fear, that having a son myself, if the Lord comes to me and tells me to sacrifice Jude, the first thing that runs through my head is fear of my wife. Honey, I love you. I know you're watching this, but the first thing that comes to my mind is fear of my wife. What is she going to think after I take Jude up on the mountain and sacrifice him? But Abraham shows more fear of God than he does of Sarah, or he does of his people, or he does of his son Isaac. And there's something that's really holy about that the Lord comes and says that I know that you fear me. We also see it in the Gospels where Jesus is talking to somebody, and he says along the lines of, why do you fear man? What can man do to you? What can they do to you that doesn't last for a second and then in the morning is gone? You should fear me, because I am the judge of everyone, and I am the one who is your entrance into paradise or your entrance into eternal damnation. And so that first idea is just the fear of the Lord, and what that is, and what does it mean to fear God over everything else. The next thing that I wanted to hit on comes out of verses 16 through 18, and this is the angel of the Lord comes to Abraham a second time after the Lord provides the sacrifice for them instead of Isaac, and this is what it says. "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this, and you have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of the heaven and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. And so the second thing that I wanted to hit on was obedience. Throughout the Bible, you'll never see right or wrong. You'll see obedience or disobedience. And if we can obey the Lord, then that will lead into your life being more fruitful, being more holy, being more like Jesus Christ. And something that was shown to me by one of the guys that I really love, Ricky Jimerson, is if you write out the word obedience on a piece of paper, and you take the three middle letters of the word obedience, it spells out die. And then if you take the middle of the word die, it says I. And so that is what obedience means. It means that I die. I die to myself. I pick up my cross and I walk with it, and I die. And that's what obedience is. It means that you die to yourself. You die to everything that within you screams out for something. And you obey and you die to yourself.